We're here at the Tremont Tearoom talking to Sandy, one of our psychics. And you work on Mondays right now, but that'll be changing soon, right?
Yeah.
And tell us what you're about to embark on, your adventure.
Well, next week I'm going to the Bahamas, a little island called Bimini, to go on a spiritual retreat at a beautiful place called Wild Quest, where I get to swim with wild dolphins.
So you swim with wild dolphins?
Yes.
And you don't get harmed, there's no danger in this, and it doesn't harm the dolphins, obviously?
No, that's the best part, is they choose to come swim with the people. So they're not in captivity, they're not coerced in any way, so it's a beautiful spiritual connection.
And how long have you been doing readings here at the Tea Room, Sandy?
About a year.
Okay. And how do you like it?
I love it. I really like the atmosphere here because everyone sort of knows each other, and it's very casual to work here when there's not customers in here, and I just like the atmosphere, in addition to when customers come here.
Okay, and tell us this. What do you think it makes your style of reading unique or different? Not necessarily better than other people's, but everyone has their own unique style. Wouldn't you agree?
I definitely agree that everyone has a unique style, and I feel like in terms of psychic abilities, information comes in differently for different people, in more than one way for each person. So I feel like what sets me apart is just who I am as a person and my philosophy. I really am a very holistic person. I work a lot with children, and I sort of have the belief that the answer is often in people's hearts. So I really like to connect with the person's heart or their soul and see where they're at and see where the person on a day-to-day basis is in relation to where their heart wants them to be.
Okay, let me ask you a couple of questions I ask people a lot when they first come here.
Okay.
What sign are you, and what does it mean to you?
I'm a Scorpio, and I feel like that means intensity and passion, and that's who I am. And usually when I tell people I'm a Scorpio, they're either like, I figured, or, oh no, not a Scorpio. So I do feel like I live up to that standard with all of its positive ways.
Okay. And when was the first time you remembered being psychic? Like what age, what happened, that sort of thing?
You know, I think a lot of it, I started having psychic dreams when I was about 5, but I'm not one of those people who talked to dead people when I was a little kid. I think a lot more of it came in retrospect. Once I figured it out, I was kind of like, wait a minute, this explains a lot of childhood, like how every time I had an argument, I just knew the answer, and my answer was, I just thought it was really smart. But in retrospect, I realized that I actually knew the answers, and I was psychic. So I'd say it really started kicking in probably college, where I started when the Instant Messenger came out, I could always tell what a person was going to say next in an online conversation, which certainly had its ups and downs. But
okay, and tell me this. What do you do when you're not doing readings?
I am an expressive therapist. I work with kids and teens with autism, primarily using drama and other arts to use as a tool for therapy. Basically, it engages them more, and we live our life in action, so we work therapeutically through things in action. And I really feel like one of the reasons I'm here on Earth is to work with these kids and teens, and I feel very intuitively connected to them, and that was when I started working with them 5 years ago. That was one of the factors that strengthened my personal spirituality.
And how do you think being a therapist helps you in your roles of reading? Is it a hindrance? Does it help?
I absolutely believe it helps because of all the practice with boundaries and understanding the difference between what's mine and what's theirs. And you know, a psychic reading is very different than a reading with a client, in therapy. But I still feel like there are moments where I'm really instinctively applying those ethics, but also really focusing on the person. And I just really feel like the training is helpful with just really setting limits, things like that, and being able to clarify when my ego might be trying to come into a reading, and being aware and sort of pushing that back and focusing on the person in front of me or on the phone.
Do you think there's a particular area of issues that you're better at? Like some people would say relationships, some people would say employment.
You know, I actually don't. I just feel like different things happen in different moments. There's no one thing that I feel called to the most.
Okay. And let me ask you one other question.
Okay.
What's the last book you read?
The last book I read was The Things They Carried. It was a war novel because I found it in a free box in Davis Square and decided, oh, it's here for me, so I'll read it.
And give us a song from your top 5 on your iPod.
Corner of the Sky from the musical Pippin.
Sandy, thank you for giving us a glimpse into your life.
You're
and we hope you
very
have a great
welcome.
trip with the dolphins.
Thank you.